everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Ayissi, and I am the founder of EMKAO Foods. EMKAO Foods is a startup cocoa beans processing company and single source origin chocolate ingredient supplier. Presenting today will allow us to share the mission, to share our vision, to understand a little bit more why we choose to go into a niche market, how we innovate, and the problems in our industry we tried to solve, and of course, the requirements of our industry. We have chosen British Columbia to set up our first factory because it's a province where people really care about healthier options, organic, vegan, and awareness. They just want to know where their products are coming from, and this was actually the main reason we decided to come here, and also because we are close to the ocean, the ports, so we can have easy access to China, and we receive our goods from Africa, which was really important for us. And of course, we can serve different provinces around us. The question we tried to answer was, how can we enter in such a competitive market, in a global market? How can we have a piece of the market? And we try to answer by finding a product that a small amount of people will care about, and a product that will be special and that people will be able to say, yes, I'm willing to buy a premium price because I receive a premium product, and I'm supporting a company that values ethically sourced products, that values its employees, that values its farmers, and that is just trying to build a more sustainable supply chain. And of course, by going into this niche market, the most important thing was, how do we innovate? How do we put something out that is great and that is even different from what is existing? I started the company with just a simple goal. It was to engage the small cocoa farmers in our supply chain, to support them better, and to be able to have more people align with my values. This is how all started. I just wanted to finally put the farmers first, and just to, see who will join forces. Earlier, I mentioned the problems in our industry. Growing up around cacao farms, I've seen how little the small cocoa farmers gain. I've seen, all the issues with deforestation, the lack of roads to get into the village, and talking about how little the farmers gain. Small cocoa farmers represent 2.1 billion people, and they live with less than $2 a day. This is not just a story. This is something that I experienced, right? And they only get 6% of the price of a chocolate that customers pay. This is real. And this is why with EMKAO Foods, I decided to do something different. We just hear stories about, kids not being able to go to school, but this is something that is unacceptable. And, there are ways to kind of support better and to bring awareness. This is why we decided that with our company, when you purchase from us or when you support us, we are able to create more of an impact, which means every time it's tree, it cuts, we grow more trees. Promoting strategies to protect the forest, because growing cacao beans comes with deforestation. And of course, being able to offer, decent salaries to the farmers for them to actually be able in position to send their kids to school, and making sure that we respect all the international standards. We are organic certified from farm to finished products. This is really something that we care about, because being organic leverage us to charge a premium price, and that price will help us to pay better salaries. And of course, to be in a niche market, there are requirements, and the first requirement is to make sure that there is a demand for your products. But also it is to make sure that you produce a product that meets the international standards, because when you deal with international markets, you have to make sure that if you want to export, you work with an export company, or you have your export documents. I always say that it's not because you have cocoa beans in your farm that you are cocoa farmers. No, growing cocoa beans, cacao beans, it comes with a knowledge. In our family plantation, because we're vertically integrated family plantation, where we get our cacao beans, we make sure that our small cocoa farmers are trained to know how the pruning the trees work, with the weeding, the mulching, and of course to understand the importance of what your customers want, which is you need to make sure that the fermentation is done properly, and to make sure that you actually set grade 1 cocoa beans. The requirement in our industry, and especially in manufacturing cocoa ingredients, it's capital intense. So you need to make sure that financially you are able to put together this type of project. And what we have done is that we have run some crowdfunding, we had received grants, we have received loans as well. So it takes pretty much 1 million to start with a manufacturing company. So it's really capital intensive. So you need to make sure that this is something you are capable of undertake. And of course, another requirement is that your product actually have to be good. Simple as that. Your product has to be different. When people try it, and I always say, if my son enjoys it, then I'm sure I'm doing something right. I'm joking. No, I'm just trying to say that we have been able to produce a premium products, and how it's just because we kept all the natural flavors. For example, our cocoa butter is non-deodorized, and by doing that, we really want to make sure that our customers keep and have the natural chocolatey scent at the end of the cocoa butter. We do the natural cocoa powder. We keep it natural because, again, we want to make sure that our customers enjoy the natural, the chocolatey, the reddish color that only natural products can give. Our chocolate chips are very creamy, very smooth. We don't use any soy. Everything, we only use our single origin cocoa butter. And again, we keep that nice smoothness and richness in our products. We created different chocolate tea with the cocoa husk. So it's really something that we are trying to do something different, something that people might have consumed, but now it's more accessible. And of course, by being in British Columbia, we are the first manufacturer from beans to cocoa ingredients. We have started the business by just offering into a wholesale model, which has a focus into B2B. But slowly we have seen that consumers actually want to support. We have seen a lot of interest coming from, mom baking at home, from consumers that also want to be part of the journey and supporting. So this is why we started to go into a retail offer. And of course, another requirement as a social company for us, involving universities by organizing soon trips to the farm and being able to offer that experience to students. This is something that we really value because, again, we care about transparency. We care about engaging the small cocoa farmers, and it's more than just putting a picture on a product. You actually need to make sure that they are, it all comes down to how much they can gain out of the hard work they are doing. And of course, we work with local institutions, we work with cooperative in Cameroon. For now, we are just working with the farmers in my region area, which is the center of Cameroon, Mifwa Famba. But the goal is really to work with more cooperative or more small cocoa farmers in Africa. So definitely we are a social impact, and what we do is to get involved from the farmers to the consumers, and all of that, it creates a more sustainable company, and what we do have a little bit more of an impact. And of course, as technology to me is really a way to show, to prove, to just making sure that we are doing the right thing. Right now, we offer traceability on a QR code. We give the opportunity to our customers by scanning a QR code to know where the products have been manufactured, who manufactured the products, and still in that social impact that we are creating. We bring the schools at a young age. This is my son's class, actually. So they came and I gave them a tour of the factory because, my son already knows what's going on. He knows grandpa grows the cacao beans. He knows mom making the cocoa ingredients. But just having more kids and being able to share the story and that chocolate is not a tree. It was really fun, and I feel like being able at a young age to see everything about harvesting and everything about manufacturing the cocoa before being chocolate, this is such a unique storytelling. And this is why we decided to go into a niche requirement, into a niche market, because this is something that we are able to bring on top of just having a good product. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for giving us an opportunity to share our vision and mission. If you want to know more about the company, please email us info@EMKAO Foods, or you can just go on our website, www.EMKAO Foods Inc, or follow us on Instagram. And happy to respond to any questions. Thank you so much.